Good morning, Interwebs. It is about midnight, Saturday night. Well, in an effort for balance, I did not film yesterday because I was having a bad day, and then my day got better, and then I had a Google Hangout with patrons, and then I watched Harry Potter with Steve. So, it was a day that I decided to basically take off from filming. So that's a thing. This morning, however, we went to a fall festival. So I am going to pop in some pictures here of us having all the fun. So here's Steve and I making funny faces in front of a fire truck, because that's what you do when you go to a small town's fall festival. You stand in front of the fire truck. We also stood in front of the BB-8 balloons. There was a Disney-ish theme, and so, Star Wars seemed appropriate, I guess. And then we had some cotton candy. And then we basically watched my kids dance, which I did not take footage of for you. But we had a good time. And then we all went out to lunch. What is this? What? These are coming down all of a sudden. Anyways, I'm having doily issues. I think it's because the temperature changed dramatically today. We were kind of having fluctuations, but today it was cold. I wore the short sleeve sweater that I'm wearing. Then I wore this cardigan over the top and my hat. And I had a shawl that I wore draped in the front. A worsted weight shawl. I also had on some fingerless mitts that were fingering weight yarn that I was wearing part of the time. And I've been wearing crocheted socks all day. So, it got cold real quick, and it's supposed to be warm adjacent tomorrow. So, I don't know. Wacky weather. I guess that's what happens at the beginning of fall. Then we came home and I worked a little bit more on my tablecloth and putting the final color on, because I thought I was done with that pink last night. And I got it all. I figured I was all done, and I even did the last round the opposite direction like I like to do and all the things. But the table hadn't been, fully cleared off, so I'd only been kind of measuring it, on the half. Anyways, they had emptied the table so they could play Monopoly last night. So, after Steve and I watched the final Harry Potter movie last night, he went to bed, and I was like, oh, the table is clear. Now is the time to check and make for sure that I didn't make this too big. Well, I laid out my tablecloth and realized that it was a little too small. So I kind of peeked and didn't immediately see a yarn that I wanted to use that was scrap. And actually, I knew I kind of needed to use a basically full ball because of how wide it's gotten. A scrap doesn't get you very far. You really need a full ball. So I just left it last night. This morning after we got home, I checked and I had this one random, creme de la creme cotton yarn. I had been yarn ferried from somebody, and I have no other use for it, and I have no other yarn that matches it. And I was like, oh, well, that light gray would actually be a really nice edging with the other colors I'd used. So that is what I'm doing. And I put in one row before the yawns got the best of me this afternoon. Oh, and if I talk about yawning, there was another one. I apologize for all of you who just yawned. Or you're welcome, because yawning feels kind of terrific. Anyways, I worked on that, and then the yawns got the best of me. I took a nap. In fact, we all took naps because it was so cold. It was so nice to cuddle up, and everyone was exhausted. Then I got up and hung out with my kids, and while I was doing that this evening, I formatted the PDF. I finished formatting the PDF for the I Got Your Back shawl. And then I went through the kind of circuitous, because I didn't exactly know how to do it, process of posting my pattern for sale on Ravelry. So I have it all set up that tomorrow at noon I can hit activate. So by the time you see this, if you are interested in the PDF version of the I Got Your Back shawl, which is the one with the eyeball on it, it is now available on Ravelry. So that's a thing. It is also, I already posted it today about midnight-ish, onto Patreon, but it is not in PDF format. So if you are a member of Peachless Pattern Pile on Patreon, you can get the pattern, but it's in like a blog format as opposed to the PDF. So that's kind of the difference. So either one is available. Same pattern, different formats. So that was exciting, but now I need to decide what I'm going to do for the next hour or two. I have lots of ideas, lots of things that I would kind of like to work on. I think, though, that tomorrow I want to make another I Got Your Back shawl, but I want to do the hour by hour thing where I post hourly progress on Instagram like I did when I was working on my Joy shawl. So I want to also, to, round out Scraptember in the scrappiest way possible, I want to make it out of scraps. So I think I'm going to pull out the yarn that I will need to make my Tiny Tails blanket. I won't know the order, but I know what colors I have left that need to be added. So I will pull those balls out, and then I will start pulling yarn to make the scrappy I Got Your Back. I think that's going to be good. And then we'll see what time it is, but I need to go to bed at a reasonable hour, in part because that's just good, and also we have soccer tomorrow, which just wears me out for so many reasons. The people, the excitement, the being outside. Though it might get canceled, who knows? It was gonna rain. It rained tons today when we were at the festival. So yeah, it rained a bunch this morning, and it was supposed to rain all evening and then maybe into tomorrow, but instead it lightened up this afternoon. We're supposed to have fog overnight and then some scattered thunderstorms in the morning, wrapping up about an hour before soccer starts, which I would think that means that we can play soccer, but that does not always mean that the person who makes the decisions about the field will decide that, because he sometimes decides we can't play on the fields because it's bad for the fields. But I really don't understand why. I have seen games played on far worse than what he will allow. But that is neither here nor there, and we will decide tomorrow whether to be annoyed by whether or not there's a game. I hope there's a game, because they canceled last week's. It's only a 6-week season here, which in and of itself is a little ridiculous. But I'm going to go and work on kind of getting my ducks in a row, or in this case my yarn balls, so that I can have a successful I Got Your Backing experience tomorrow. That's my plan. And I will see you all tomorrow. Nighty night.